Hey everybody. Basically I've been kind of taking a step back looking at everything and what's going on. And I feel it's kind of important right now to make a Senate prediction. I think a lot of things in the Senate are kind of shifting. Um, and in an odd sense, I think it is shifting toward the Republicans' advantage. So I'm gonna just go through some things. Clearly, I'm starting with the blank map because this battleground map they have is showing like Tennessee still leaning red, Texas likely red, Wisconsin leaning blue. I think a lot of these still need some changes. Whoops, how did I do that? I don't care. I just want the regular map. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna go to a blank map. Just filling in all these safe states. Um, you know, these all have Democratic incumbents, pretty partisan states. So, yeah, just making sure I'm not missing anything. So now, safe Republican, Wyoming, Nebraska, Mississippi, Utah. Those are all pretty safe. And then I've heard, totally missed Minnesota. So now let's go to likely blue. Looking at likely blue, I think this is where we start to get into Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin. States all have Democratic incumbents. Voted for Trump in 2018, but, you know, pretty not competitive. And I'll talk about why I'm leaving Florida out of this mix. And a lot of you probably know. Likely Republican. I don't think any of these races would fall under that category. Now, leans Republican. I think there's a few, but now, so let's just go over to leans Democrat. Montana. Matt Rosendale had Donald Trump come and campaign for him. I think that might hurt Jon Tester a little bit, but not enough to lose the election. This still has the Florida poll up, but there's polls now in Montana, pretty conservative polls having Jon Tester winning by 8 points. So that's saying something. Arizona, Nevada, these are races that are going to flip. Very unpopular incumbent in Nevada. Retiring incumbent in Arizona with a blue wave here in a swing state. Tennessee, Phil Bredesen, very popular former governor, most likely going to win Tennessee. And I've been saying Tennessee for a long time. I've been saying that since December, and I'm still confident that Tennessee is going to go blue. West Virginia, Joe Manchin, I think, is going to do pretty well. Just him being the incumbent, probably, going to vote for Brett Kavanaugh. Just kind of putting partisan politics aside. In Missouri, Claire McCaskill is leading in most of the big polls. I was starting to think that might be moving more toward lean Republican, but I'm thinking Missouri is actually leaning in the Democrats' favor right now, which is, a fairly big deal. But that's a pure toss-up. And so is Indiana. And the only reason I'm giving this to Joe Donnelly over Mike Braun is that he's the incumbent. Again, Joe Donnelly has been voting with Trump a lot lately, trying to hold on to that seat. But we'll see what happens. That's a pretty pure toss-up. Now let's go to the lean Republican. Texas, Ted Cruz is the incumbent, but Beto O'Rourke, sorry, I can't say that, but he's gaining a lot of popularity. He's visited all the counties in Texas. He's doing fairly well. He's picking up a lot more support, which is why this is only leans red. North Dakota, Heidi Heitkamp is she's struggling still. I think I've said that this is probably leaning red since December again. And I still think it stank that way just because Kevin Cramer, he's, a popular representative for them. Um, so him being a Republican in a deeply red state, I think is really going to help him. And then Florida. This is what I'm hoping to load. There it is. Okay. Look at these polls. So Nelson +4. That's the only race that Bill Nelson is up right now. That's an issue for him. Rick Scott is probably going to win this race, to be honest, at this point, because of the fact that Bill Nelson is running low. And Rick Scott, I mean, he's a pretty popular governor. So, Bill Nelson having been in the Senate since 2001, this could be a heartbreaking loss for the Democrats. But right now, I do not see Bill Nelson holding on to this seat. So in the end, it's 50-50 in terms of the Senate composition. But since Mike Pence is the vice president, it's more like 51-50 with Republicans having control. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.